When an INFJ finally feels safe with you, it doesn't happen all at once. It's not a confession or a moment you can capture. It's a slow unraveling of walls built over years of being misunderstood. They don't rush into trust. They test the silence first. They notice how you listen when they fall quiet, how you react when their thoughts get messy, how your energy feels when words disappear. For most people, comfort is casual. For an INFJ, it's sacred. Safety isn't about feeling protected. It's about being seen without fear of judgment. When they start to relax around you, it's because you've given them something rare, the space to be entirely themselves, unfiltered and unafraid. If you've ever felt an INFJ slowly opening their world to you, this video is for you. Subscribe to Brady One for more deep insights into INFJ psychology, and tell me in the comments, what's the moment you knew an INFJ finally trusted you? They stop filtering their thoughts. When an INFJ finally feels safe with you, their words begin to change. You'll notice it not through what they say, but how they say it. Softer, freer, less measured. The careful editing that once guarded every sentence slowly disappears. At first, they used to pause before speaking, afraid their honesty might be too heavy, too strange, too much for someone to handle. But when they begin to trust you, those pauses turn into flow. They stop crafting perfect sentences and start speaking from the center of their emotions. It's as if a window opens inside them and the fresh air of truth finally moves through. To an INFJ, every word carries weight. They've learned that people often misunderstand depth, that sincerity can make others uncomfortable, so they protect their thoughts like fragile glass, showing only reflections, never the real shape. But when they stop filtering, it means they no longer fear being seen. You'll hear them speak ideas that feel raw, poetic, sometimes contradictory, because that's what real thinking sounds like before it's polished for the world. They might share late-night reflections, half-formed philosophies, or quiet fears they never told anyone. And when they do, it's not small talk, it's a gift of trust, disguised as conversation. In that unfiltered space, you'll hear their true rhythm, the part of them that no one else gets to see. You'll catch glimpses of their mind wandering into deep places, questioning everything, connecting dots no one else notices. And sometimes they'll pause mid-thought, smile faintly, and admit they don't have the answer. A rare thing for an INFJ who usually hides behind certainty. That's when you know they feel safe. Because safety for them isn't about comfort, it's about permission. Permission to think out loud, to be confused, to be human without fear of being misread. If an INFJ ever stops filtering their thoughts around you, don't take it lightly. It means they trust your energy enough to let their mind breathe freely. In a world where they've learned to guard every emotion, that's not just comfort, that's connection. They share their inner world. For an INFJ, the inner world is everything, not just a place they escape to, but the space where they actually live. It's full of memories that still hum with emotion, quiet theories about people and meaning, and stories they've never told anyone because no one ever stayed long enough to hear them. When they begin to share that world with you, it's not random, it's sacred. It means you've passed every silent test they never mentioned. You'll notice the shift in subtle ways. Their conversations stop being safe and start being real. They'll talk about the dreams that felt too vivid to ignore, or how a song made them cry for reasons they can't explain. They'll tell you about the moment they first stopped trusting people, or why silence feels like home to them. It's never small talk, it's soul talk. Their words carry a weight you can feel, as if they're letting you read a page from a book they've kept locked away for years. Most people think INFJs are mysterious because they want to be. That's not true. They stay private because most people listen to reply, not to understand. So when they finally open up, it's because your presence feels safe enough to hold what they've been carrying. They're not performing vulnerability, they're revealing the truth they usually protect from the world's noise. And when you listen, really listen, something changes in the air. It feels like time slows down. You're no longer in a normal conversation, you're standing inside someone's heart. That's what it means when an INFJ shares their inner world. It's not words you're hearing, it's trust taking shape. Their energy becomes softer. Something changes in the atmosphere when an INFJ begins to feel safe, not in their words, but in their energy. You can sense it before you even realize it. The quiet tension that once surrounded them, that invisible armor of caution, starts to melt. Their movements slow down, their shoulders relax, and their laughter becomes real, not the polite version they use to blend in. It's like watching a winter landscape slowly warm into spring, subtle but full of life if you know where to look. INFJs carry an emotional field that mirrors the room they're in. When they don't feel safe, their presence becomes guarded, calm but unreadable, gentle yet unreachable. They scan for emotional cues, managing the energy around them like someone trying to balance light in a storm. But when they begin to trust you, the storm quiets. They don't need to analyze your every tone or measure their own reactions. They simply exist, present, open, unguarded. That shift is their soul exhaling. You'll notice they start making small jokes or teasing in a playful way they never did before. They'll touch your arm lightly when they talk or lean in without realizing it. Their eyes linger longer, not in analysis, but in comfort. That's the rarest thing about them. When their energy softens, it's not weakness, it's the truest version of who they are. Kind, intuitive, deeply warm. But most people never see that side because it only appears when they feel absolutely safe. The softness isn't about submission, it's about peace. It's the moment they stop performing strength and start allowing ease. Around you, they don't need to be the calm one, the healer, or the quiet observer holding everyone else together. They can laugh too loudly, they can sigh without explaining why, they can simply be human. And once you experience that softness, you'll understand what trust really means for an INFJ. It's not a promise, it's a presence. When their energy softens around you, you've become part of the small, sacred space where they no longer have to survive. They can finally rest. They let you into their silence. For most people, silence is just an absence of words. For an INFJ, it's a language, the one they trust the most. It's where they retreat, to think, to breathe, to find themselves again after the world drains their energy. Their quiet isn't emptiness, it's a form of protection. So when they let you step into that silence, it's not because there's nothing to say. It's because they no longer feel the need to hide behind words. At first, their stillness might have felt distant, almost unreachable. You might have wondered what they were thinking, what they were feeling behind that calm expression. But when an INFJ feels safe with you, that silence changes shape. It stops being a wall and becomes a shared space. They'll sit next to you without feeling the pressure to speak. The quiet no longer feels heavy. It feels peaceful, like both of you understand something deeper than language. You might notice how they start to relax into the moment, maybe staring out the window with a faint smile, or listening to music without trying to fill the air with conversation. You begin to feel the rhythm of their quiet, slow, thoughtful, warm. That's them letting you in, because for an INFJ, silence isn't about pulling away, it's about connection beyond noise. They're showing you the part of themselves that doesn't perform, doesn't analyze, doesn't need to improve. In that stillness, something rare happens, a kind of emotional synchronization. You can sense what they're feeling without them saying a word. Maybe it's gratitude, maybe it's calm, maybe it's love, but it's real and it lingers. They trust you enough to exist beside you in complete quiet, knowing you won't mistake it for distance. That's the secret language of an INFJ's trust. It's not loud or obvious. It's in the soft exhale when they sit next to you, the gentle presence that doesn't demand or expect. When they let you into their silence, it means you've crossed the final barrier. You're no longer an outsider looking in. You've become part of the peace they once thought they had to protect alone. They reveal their sensitivities. There comes a quiet shift in the connection, a moment when the person who once carried their emotions in silence begins to show what they usually hide, the small hurts, the tender memories, the feelings they once disguised behind calm smiles start to surface. It doesn't happen dramatically, it happens gently, almost accidentally. A story slips out about something that still stings, a small insecurity finds its way into the conversation. It's not weakness, it's trust, showing itself through vulnerability. Their sensitivity has always been both a blessing and a burden. It's what allows them to understand others so deeply, yet it's also what makes the world feel too loud. They feel more than they let on. The tone of your voice, the tension in a room, the sadness behind someone's forced laughter. Most of the time, they keep it to themselves. afraid of being told they're too emotional or too intense. But when they start sharing those delicate parts with you, it means they no longer feel the need to apologize for how deeply they feel. You'll notice small details, the way they pause before admitting what truly hurts them, or how their voice softens when talking about something that shaped their heart. They might tell you about a time they were misunderstood, or how they carry guilt for caring too much. And as they speak, there's this quiet honesty, the kind that asks for nothing, not comfort, not solutions, just presence. Respond with gentleness, and you'll feel something rare happen. The air between you changes. The guarded composure fades, replaced by a kind of raw humanness that feels alive, real, unfiltered. They're not testing you. They're allowing you to meet the person behind the armor, the one who feels deeply, forgives slowly, and still hopes to be understood. That's the moment you know you've earned more than trust. You've earned permission to see the truth beneath their strength, because the bravest thing they can do isn't hide their sensitivity, it's letting it be seen and believing you'll treat it with care. They start mirroring your energy. Something almost invisible begins to happen when the connection deepens. They start reflecting pieces of you back in quiet, effortless ways. It's not imitation, it's resonance. The way you speak, the rhythm of your humor, even the softness in your tone begins to echo in their own. It's as if their emotional frequency adjusts itself to match yours, not to copy you, but to create harmony. You'll see it in the timing of their smiles, the comfort in their pauses, the subtle way they meet your gaze without hesitation. That's their way of saying, I feel safe here. Their ability to mirror is instinctive, almost subconscious. They don't do it to please you. They do it because they are finally relaxed enough to sync with your energy instead of analyzing it. Before, they might have been cautious, reading your moods like weather patterns, trying to predict what was safe to express. But now, they no longer stand on the edges. They step into the same emotional space as you, fully, openly, without fear. You might notice that they laugh at things you find funny before you even finish speaking, or that their expression softens when yours does. When you're tired, their voice lowers too. When you're excited, theirs lifts with it. It's not performance, it's empathy in motion. They're feeling with you, not just observing from afar. That's what makes being close to them feel so easy. It's like breathing in rhythm with someone else. This mirroring is their quiet form of affection. They're not people who shout their feelings or declare them loudly. Instead, they show you through presence by meeting you where you are and reflecting back the energy you bring. It's how they say, I understand you, without a single word. You pay attention, you'll realize it's one of the most intimate signs of all, because for someone who's spent a lifetime adapting to survive, mirroring out of comfort rather than caution means everything. It means they've stopped hiding behind observation and stepped into connection. It means your energy doesn't drain them, it restores them. And in their world, that kind of safety isn't common. It's rare, precious, and once it happens, it changes the rhythm between you forever. They show imperfection without apology. There's a quiet beauty in the moment someone stops trying to seem put together. You see it in the way their voice cracks mid-sentence, or how they forget to mask the tiredness in their eyes. The person who once measured every word, who used composure as protection, begins to let go. They stumble on their thoughts, laugh at their own mistakes, leave sentences unfinished, and they don't rush to correct themselves. That's not carelessness, it's freedom. For someone who's spent a lifetime being the strong one, the listener, the one who carries others' weight, this shift means everything. They're no longer trying to live up to the version of themselves the world expects. Around you, they can admit they're not always wise, not always calm, not always okay. You might catch them being forgetful, saying something clumsy, or showing frustration they'd usually swallow back. And instead of shrinking in embarrassment, they simply are. The performance ends and the real person steps forward, imperfect but honest. It's in those raw moments that you see their humanity most clearly. They might vent about something petty or confess they don't have the answers people assume they do. They might share a failure they've never talked about before. It's the side of them that usually stays hidden behind logic and restraint. And when it shows, it's not because they've lost control. It's because they finally feel safe enough not to need it. Imperfection becomes a language of trust. The mismatched socks, the messy thoughts, the vulnerable admissions, they're all quiet proofs that you've become someone they can be real around. They don't have to perform calmness or strength. They can exist without editing, without apology, without fear of judgment. You'll notice how the atmosphere changes when this happens. The connection feels lighter, warmer, more alive. You're not talking to a mask anymore. You're sitting with the truth of who they are, unpolished, flawed, beautifully human. And maybe that's the purest form of safety, knowing someone sees every side of you, the graceful and the messy, and stays anyway. That's when trust stops being a word and becomes a feeling, simple, quiet, and deeply real. Trust, for someone this private, isn't built through promises. It's felt through presence. It's the quiet ease that grows when judgment fades and understanding takes its place. When they finally let down their walls, it's not because they stopped being cautious. It's because they finally found someone who made caution unnecessary. Safety, for them, isn't a place, it's a person. And when you become that person, you see sides of them the world never will. If you connected with this video, take a moment to reflect on the people who made you feel safe enough to be real. Those moments matter more than we realize. Subscribe to Brainy One for more deep explorations into the hidden layers of INFJ psychology, intuition, and emotion. And tell me in the comments, what's the moment you knew someone truly made you feel safe enough to drop your guard?